it to the point of like, you know,
Yeah.
they try to catch them live trap. We put them down the Tippy River, they float the loaders pond, because they're going to come back.
They connected somehow.
Tell them I tested.
The transmission.
And
They
here
should-
I know.
Well,
There's a lot.
does it
Yeah,
pull?
it's very.
it does pull, I mean, when the air conditioner's not working.
There's a bunch of them. When I
This is what I'm missing.
It's a pain.
My
Gets the job done.
dad,
Yeah.
my dad would
Line
just hit a
transmission.
critter in the rump and it would leave and never come back. Yeah, just done it.
That's
If you hit it,
So I'm hopefully not running it.
We might wanna look at Creighton.
we're still doing the pickleball.
Not bad.
I gotta put it in Baptist tomorrow for about 3 days.
Might get about 660 on it.
All right, I got 5:15.
Did you go over there?
No, I have to,
Somebody
plan
told
on
me
it.
that they'd gone over there.
Okay, call a meeting to order. First thing on the agenda is the approval of the May 2024 minutes. Everybody's had a chance to read them. If there's no additions or corrections, need a motion to accept.
I move we accept the minutes of the June meeting,
May.
May meeting.
Okay. We have a motion. We have a second.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Unfinished business flooring update on Nye Youth Cabin.
Yeah, as we mentioned, last meeting, we had did some of the bathrooms, and we were gonna do the night youth cabin, and as you can see by the pictures, we have did it. And we've got a lot of compliments from the renters that have used it so far. It kind of brightens up the, you know, the cabin, the flooring. Sean has some blinds ordered for the windows as well. As soon as those come in, we'll get those installed, and then we just got estimates for siding on that building too, but I don't know what that's gonna come in at, but it's got the old wood siding on it, and it's starting to decay, so we've gotta do something to preserve that, so, but that may be a 2025 item, but certainly turned out fine.
Okay, great. Questions, comments?
It's one of my favorite places to rent.
Good.
What is that surface? Is it the epoxy?
It's a epoxy flake, yes,
Okay.
so they put it down, they flake it, and they epoxy over it, yeah.
Okay, Boggs basketball courts.
It's finally completed. Of course, we had it repaved. We had the backboards reconditioned with brand-new Lexan put on, new nets, repainted the rims. They just finished up last week sealing it, striping it. I don't know if you've been out by there, but it's really, really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice courts again. Kind of reminds me when they were first put in back in the 80s. I mean, they look really good, so a lot of people will use them, I'm sure.
Questions, comments? Okay, on to new business. Here we go.
Here we go.
2025 budgets.
Yeah, we'll start with the 2204 budget, and I think the easiest way to follow me is go to the explanatory sheets. And we'll start out with salaries and wages. We have one of the wage committee members here, Jurgen's part of the wage committee, that worked hard on this. They're looking at a 2.5% increase. They've also looked at some other possibilities for longevity as well. We don't know if that's going to happen or not, but we budgeted for it. And then we've also included an additional employee in here. It's been since 2018 since we've had an additional employee. We've got Rotary Park, we've got Gateway Grove coming, and then if the airport park comes, we're certainly going to need more personnel to take care of all these. Over the years, our responsibilities have grown. I mean, Sean can attest to that. We just do more and more each year, and it's time we need another employee. So that's in there. And then employee benefits, insurance, we were advised to put a 12% increase there. So we did. The perf reflects a 13% increase as advised by the clerk. And then FICA unemployment, so a total of $766,000 there. Other personal services is our cell phone allowance for the people that use their cell phones at work. So the total personal services is $2,070,400, which is a 10% increase. Any questions on that? All right, we'll go to supplies. We pretty much held the line on most of this stuff. Supplies, we have 0% increase there, still $3,200. Operating supplies, I've looked at the numbers so far. I feel that, we're pretty stable. The prices of things have kind of stabilized in the areas that we're buying. So I feel good with the same amount there, $147,800. So 0% increase there. Repairs and maintenance supplies, again, I think we're doing fine. I think we'll be all right. So I'm trying to hold the line there at $128,000. Other supplies, $300 we always put in there for snow removal crew, for meals. We haven't had to use that for the last few years, so that's kind of nice. I hope we don't have to the next year. But total supplies is $279,300 with no increase in supplies. Any questions on that? All right, we'll move to other services and charges, professional services. Again, we've got the janitorial for the Pete Thorne and the park office. We've got monitoring services for the fire alarms, agreements for the HVACs at the office and the pavilion. The lake associations are in there at $7,500. Tree and shrub service for Central, Kittyland, and McKinley. And then we have legal fees, geese removal, cameras to update those and stay on top of those at Central Park and Nye, Pavilion, all those cameras. And then, of course, inspections, our yearly inspections, water testing, our eye strike, maintenance agreements for the copier, and then, of course, the contractor programs for instructors. So we're staying at 96.9 on that with a 0% increase. Communications and transportation. Again, this is just postage, travel, and then our Verizon. We use a lot of the Verizon, MiFi jetpacks. They're used to run our camera systems and to run our computers in our trucks. Very inexpensive way to have camera systems in parks that we don't have internet to, so that's what we use that for. So we're keeping that at 0% increase, $10,000 still. Printing and advertising, we're holding the line there. Again, that's just brochures, manuals, things of that sort, and then poster flyers and brochures for Stephanie. She takes that money there and really gets a long mileage out of the advertising and things for that. So we feel that that's adequate again for 2025 at $24,000, 0% increase. Insurance, this year the clerk has asked us to separate the grounds and facilities and the workman's comp, so I did. Normally those are budgeted together. We put a 10% increase on that. That was what was advised for us to do, so that brings it up $43,000 on the insurance and $13,000 on the workman's compensation. Utilities, so far we're doing, I think we'll be all right on utilities, so I'm going to keep that the same at $168,000 on utilities.
You think that's really?
I think we're doing okay. I think we're okay with that.
I looked at that and I thought, wow, that's
Yeah.
remarkable to keep
Yeah,
that.
we've crunched some numbers, we've did a lot of things with updating our effectiveness on utilities, and I think that's how we've held the line there, so,
Okay.
yeah. Repairs and maintenance, of course, our building and structure is ongoing, pest control, suppression system, and that's at the Pete Thorne Center Kitchen. We have to have that cleaned every year. The urns at Central Park and the flower beds, contractual for the soundstage hands, and then repairs. We always have repairs for pavers and blocks at the Central Park Plaza and stages and nodes. And then the new thing in there is asphalting the Central Park northeast lots. Those are the lots by the Biblical Gardens. Those are the two that haven't been done. We did the east shoulder, the west shoulder, and the Indiana Street lot, but we have not did over by the Biblical, so we want to try to get that done in 2025. And then the Central Park sidewalk replacement. As you know, the the circle in the center of the park there, it's really wet on the west side a lot of times. So we would like to replace about 200 to 250 foot of sidewalk there, elevate it, run the, when that was originally built, it had tile underneath the sidewalk. So the whole idea was it would run from the Indiana lot down underneath the sidewalk to the drain. And that just doesn't work anymore. So we want to try to reestablish that, so even when it rains, people can use the park and walk there without walking through puddles. So with all that done, we still have an 8% decrease in that category, so $186,800. Then we have rentals. Again, this is uniforms, porta pots for the concerts, helium tanks and things. We think we're all right on that, so $30,500 is 0% increase on that. Then we get to other services and charges. Pretty much held the line there. We're still at $90,000 for entertainment. We cross our fingers every year that that's enough, and we've been able to stretch it and get some good entertainment for that. But, the new thing in here is the Award Co. This is a program that has been passed that HR has brought up. It's a chance for us to award our employees, for their birthdays, for great service, for, outstanding project work, anything like that. It also allows for promotional items such as training meals, things of that sort. So we were asked to budget $200 per full-time employee, and then we did additional $2,000 for training, and if we host any events like that, that we have that in there. That's a new thing. Instead of coming out of the mayor's PR fund, this is a new way to put it in to this account here. So that's what they'd asked us to do. So that's $6,000. It's a new item, so it's 100% increase. So overall, our total services and charges, $680,900, and that's still a 1% decrease from last year, so.
Question, Larry, on the
Yes.
landfill, how's that divided up from the city? Do we have a truck that goes down there?
We do, we have our own garbage truck. We don't have the,
Kept out at
Pike
the
Lake.
fireman's building?
Yes. It's actually a hand-me-down from the street department, but we
Okay.
use, we have the little truck that goes around and collects it all. We put it into that truck, and when that truck's ready, we take it to Waste Management
Okay.
out north of town there.
Oh, okay.
And
I
get the
thought
bill.
it would be
Yeah.
more than that, actually, but.
Yeah, yeah. It's still like, what did I say, 70, 80 tons of garbage a year or something like that. I mean, it's a bunch.
Pick up a lot.
But, yeah. So we'll go on to capital outlays. Now, this is where it gets beefy in our budget. We've had the restrooms at Higher Park in there for 3 or 4 years. It's been cut out. That was part of our 5-year master plan. The sewer service and the water service to that building are there. They're ready to be built, for the building to be built. So we budgeted $80,000 for that. Machinery and equipment, of course, our new pickup truck, that goes along with our 10-year maintenance plan. Playground replacement, Kittyland is up. It was actually up last year. We did not do playground last year to hold the line on the budget, but we feel that we need to get back on our replacement process so we don't fall behind like we did years ago. And then, of course, the riding mower program, we replace one every 4 years. The big thing in here is the airport park equipment needed to maintain 64-acre park. What's being proposed right now, or is on the table, is doing phase 1 of the airport park, which is 32 acres of it. We're looking at possibly the cricket field, the disc golf, the maintenance building, some parking lots, restroom facilities, all included in phase 1. But it all is contingent upon grant money and funding. But the planning department is really looking into this and trying to get the ball rolling. They'd like to have bids out this year and possibly construction next year. If that happens, we're going to need the equipment out there to run and maintain that park. That is not the only reason why we put the extra employee in there, but we're also going to need the equipment to have that out there. All of our mowers and equipment are used nonstop, 5 days a week to maintain all of our other parks, and this is going to be another entity out there that's going to have its own maintenance facility and it'll have its own equipment to maintain that park when it's eventually 64 acres, so
And how many acres do we currently maintain without that?
80 acres.
80 acres.
Yeah,
just
so,
over.
yeah.
Almost
So it's
double.
almost doubling our system.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's something that the council's going to have to look at when they do that and decide, personnel, equipment-wise, that's got to be figured into the development of this park out there to maintain and properly maintain it, so. So that's why that's in there. And then, of course, replacement ramps and equipment at skate park. So it's a 140% increase due to the airport park and the playground equipment, so $303,000. Our total capital outlays is $383,000. So the overall total proposed budget is $3,413,600. And that's a 15% increase above the 2024 budget, but the personal service is 192.9 more. The award co is 6,000 more, and then the capital outlays, the park building, the higher park restroom is 80, the machinery equipment for the airport park is 150, and the playground is typically 40 over the budget that we normally put in 50, but that's just because the cost increases there. So if you take those out, our budget is as lean as it can get. It's just those things there, and we've got to make decisions. The council will have to make decisions on those to, if we can fund those or not. But I've tried to hold the line like I always do and try to get the projects in there, and if we can fund them and make them work, I think that's what we need to do. But any questions on this budget at all, or comments?
If there is none, we need a motion to approve the 2204 budget.
I think it's actually amazing that in most cases, the operating, you've held it at zero, or some cases even decreased it a little bit, other than the capital outlay, like you said, for the airport expansion, and some of the big ticket items. I'm surprised it's not a significant increase the times that we're in. So, having said that, I would make a motion to accept the budget as presented.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second on the 2204 budget. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Actually, I think that higher park restroom was in our last two
I think
five-year
it has
plans.
been, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we looked at Dan getting a grant money through that first, and then we've tried the last 5 years, but yes. Okay, our next budget is the 2211. This is our non-reverting recreation budget, pretty much Stephanie's budget, one of them. Operating supplies, we've actually increased that $2,000 this year. With our funds ending in 2024 for the ARPA funds, we've started some other programs and we want to keep those going, so we've added $2,000 to the supply category there. Then we have food supplies at $4,400, so the total supplies is $15,250. And then the printing and advertising, here again is $1,400, and the entertainment is $8,700. Those have stayed the same. To give you a little idea, in that budget, there's currently a balance in that appropriation of almost $49,000, $48,909. So with this budget at $25,350, we're about half of what we've got in the pool there. And that's kind of where we like to keep it. Now, I anticipate this balance, this was the end of May, was the $48,909. I anticipate that to be even more than that as we're bringing in revenue. Our revenue, I got to tell you, that our revenue this year, I think it's the best I've ever seen it. I mean, Suzanne is so busy with rentals, Sean's so busy with cleaning everything. I mean, just everything is rented, so it's good to see that. But so it sounds like a lot, 9% increase, but it's really $2,000 more than last year. So we'd ask for a total budget of $25,350 for the 2211. Any questions on that?
If not, we need a motion to accept the 2211 budget.
I'll motion to accept.
Motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay.
All right. And the last one is the non-reverting capital fund 4403. This is the Nye firemen's and kayak kiosks. First thing is supplies. The sound panels at the firemen's building have been there 12 years. They're kind of a foam material. They're starting to deteriorate some, so we want to look at replacing those. And then also the restroom vanities in there are looking pretty bad, wouldn't you say, Sean?
Pretty dated.
Dated. So we would like to do those, and that would be in-house, so we would use our own carpenters to do that. So the reason the $5,000 there. So total supplies of $8,000. Repairs and maintenance, here would be contractual work. The fireman's building floor, we want to look at that. We have a lot of seams that are coming up in that, and especially the transition from the big room to the kitchen. So we would like to take a look at that and see what we could do there. Possibly even the possibility of tearing that floor up and putting the epoxy floor in there too as well. Something more durable and less maintenance on it. The siding at Night Cabin, I had mentioned that, it's got grooved half logs in it right now, and to replicate those is very costly, and then you've got to take the whole thing off to start the groove again. You can't just put the groove in the middle of the piece that's rotten. So I had LT Siding come out and look at it, and they think they can go over that with a small insulation and then just side right over that wood there. Those are only like 2x2 walls in that cabin, so I mean, it's very touchy. So I think the less we mess with and just cover it up, the better we'll be. But
That, leaving that wood under there that's rotting doesn't make the building vulnerable?
no, the rotted part will cut out, and we'll just put 2x2 material
Oh.
behind that. But all the rest of it that's good, we'll leave behind that.
Okay.
Yes, and then we'll go over top of it. And then, of course, the signage on the cabin is $1,500, so the total repairs and maintenance would be $41,500. The rentals, this is something that Rent Fund has approached us. They actually have activity centers where they put in cornhole boards, bocce boards, this whole rec center if you want. But they also offer a kiosk that we could rent or have for $750 a year, and that would offer, we could put a volleyball in there, and we could put cornhole bags in there. So we wanted to try one at Center Lake where the volleyball court is and the cornhole boards at Bixler, and try to put a kiosk in there and see how effective it is, how much it's used. So we would like to try that and just put that kiosk in. It'd be the same system that we're using for our kayaks and paddle boards, but it would be something that, if it takes off, we might look at other parks, put them at other parks, Because a lot of times you come to the park, you don't have a volleyball, you don't have the cornhole bags. You can even go so far as they're doing concrete ping pong tables, and then you have the ping pong paddles and the ball in a kiosk. I mean, just unlimited things. The bocce balls in a kiosk. So just a lot of things that don't require personnel to rent them, but allows the public to come and use them. So this would kind of be a little test to see if there's any interest in doing something like that. So we'd like to try that. And then the machinery and equipment, of course, this is just, any equipment we would need for the kayak and paddleboard lockers. And if we don't use it, it just stays in there and rolls over. So again, this is a budget of $55,250. That's a 23% increase, or $15,250. That's due to the flooring and siding projects. The balance in this appropriation as of May was $129,895. So we're not even looking at half of it. I mean, we're looking at about 40% of it. So I feel really good about that. Like I say, the revenue's been coming in, which allows us to do other things and try to keep our facilities up and try other things for the public to use and try. Any questions on that?
What is the life expectancy on these new floors? Do they anticipate 20 years, 25 years? Just
I
hard.
would say 12 to 15 with the public use of commercial
Sure.
scene, but like that, yeah. But I've had mine 15 years and it still looks great. We've had. I'll back up a little bit. The Pete Thorne Center was built in '78, and we just replaced some of the original floors in there since '78. So it just depends on traffic, Larry. And the beaches the beaches, you know, they get the sand in there, that's like abrasing them all the time. You know, that's different than, you know, the Pete Thorne Center and things like that. So it just depends on application and how it's used. But I expect to get more life out of them than I would a carpet or a linoleum or anything like that, so yes.
And is that what's current, I can't remember in the fireman's building, is that what's?
It's vinyl tile strips is
Okay.
what it is in there, yeah.
It seems like that building is rented more and more.
VCT, I think they call that, yeah.
That's a nice facility. People are
Yeah.
finding out how nice it is.
Yes, yeah,
Also my top list of rentals.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Any more questions or comments? If not, need a motion to approve the 4403 budget.
I move we approve the 4403 budget.
And a motion approved, need a second?
I second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay,
Perfect, thank you.
thank you. On to new business, or next on new business maintenance report.
Yeah, so we're at full staff on the maintenance end with all of our summer seasonal staff have started. We have made repairs to the boardwalk out at Buyer Farm Trail. There was a few corners where it makes a couple of the jogs that were starting to sink in. So we had our carpenters go out there. They were able to jack those up, level them out, and secure them. It actually, before we jacked them up, it kind of felt like a fun house going through there because they were tilted enough where now we got them leveled out. It's a lot easier to get around there. We've also gone through and replaced any bad boards that we found. Typically try to do that at least once a month out there. We built a new flower bed and poured pads for artwork over at Kerr Park. I believe we'll be able to have the artwork installed hopefully by the end of the week or first of next week. And then Jacob Mackey is going to plant the flowers over there. It'll be another butterfly way station like we have over at Center Lake. So I think it's really going to be a neat project when it's all said and done.
What is the artwork that's going in there?
Oh, which
It's
one
part of
is-
the Mill Home Grain.
Is it the peacock?
No, it's not
Oh,
the
okay.
peacock, it's the three that, I forget the name of it.
Yeah, I
but,
forget what the name was, but it was the three colorful ones. We just got the last one back about a week ago, I believe,
Yeah.
from Mishler, so.
And we'll certainly have a ribbon cutting over there
Yep.
too, and invite the park board and everybody over there.
Yeah,
when we do it.
I want to let his daughter know. She
Yeah.
keeps
Oh, sure.
asking me to get an invitations to these, and
Yeah,
it's my fault because I haven't been forwarding to her. It hasn't been on my radar, but.
yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Also, along with the nye floors, so along with that, we had to remove the base trim around there. It was all old wood, so that they could apply the epoxy up to the walls, and then we reinstalled the trim on top of the epoxy. When we did that, we replaced a few of them, and then we also restained them, so it's all fresh looking in there. We also had Zimmer Biomet volunteers last Friday. They came out and stained our shed and our shelter out at the Manus Skate Park. There was a group of 6 or 7 of them. They had a good time. They were playing some music. It was hot and sunny, and they got stained on each other. But it's one of those things that I never get around to with my staff. So it's nice when volunteers come along and can do that for us. So, and it looks great.
I guess I didn't realize that we had volunteers coming out to do things for the park. How often?
Occasionally.
Okay.
Occasionally, they hit it just right. I knew I had that needed to be done. Sometimes they approach us and we just simply don't have anything for them to do. I really hate giving volunteers just busy work. Like I'd rather give them something so there's some accomplishment to whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
So that we actually had this and it needed to be done, and it worked out great. There's also another group of them that have rescheduled for in the fall. They're going to plant some new trees over at Rarick Park as well. So
We've had school systems and
Yep.
Zimmer Biomet and other businesses volunteer quite often and ask us for projects.
We
so.
should promote it, put their picture on Facebook or in the paper or whatever so that.
It is already.
yeah, they
It
just
is?
posted it this
I did
afternoon
see
on our
that,
Facebook
yeah.
They
page.
picked a
Yep.
good
Well,
week, at least it wasn't.
Blue Ivy.
Yeah, I know, it'd be crazy hot this week. So yeah, that was fun, and it turned out great, and we thank them for their help. We had 2 trees removed from Nye Park. One was growing into a power line, one was growing into a neighbor's house. We had to have that contracted out just simply because we were afraid we would cause more damage than good if we tried to do it ourselves. So those have been removed. We still have to go back. We will remove the stumps ourselves soon when we get around to it. Larry had mentioned the Boggs basketball courts are complete and open for play. We set up the Aqua Glide obstacle course for Stephanie's Wipeout event last week, and it looked like it was a great turnout. And we're in full summer swing. Got the mow crew running every day. Beaches are being cleaned every day. Garbage route is ran every day. Flowers are being watered every day. And we also have everything prepped for the concert Friday night. So starting Thursday, we'll start spreading stuff out and be ready to roll there. And that's all I got.
Any more questions or comments? You're up.
Okay. So I want to back up to the beginning of the summer, the Kids Fishing Derby on Saturday, June 1st. We had 171 people come over and join us for that. 90 of those were kids. We brought back our casting contest, which was also a big hit. So I'm very proud of my team for pulling that off. Imagination Station, May 21st, we had 74 participants there. 46 of those were kids. On June 4th, we had 86 participants and 53 of those were kids. So we are seeing numbers doubling for a lot of our stuff. The first 2 paddleboarding free community clinics were rained out, but this past Saturday we had a clinic and we had 26 participants at that. Library Stories has been another huge hit this summer. On May 3rd, we had 155 people come and join us for the first Library Stories in the park. On June 6th, we had 97. June 13th, we had 67. Wipeout, like Sean said, was a huge hit. We had 413 people there. 290 of those went through the obstacle course, and Sean and Larry's guys did a great job. We even had a piece that started to float a little bit. I called them, they came right out, and they got that back into place for us. So that was great. Family movie night on Friday, June 7th. We had 176 participants. An update for this week's Library Stories, which is our final one on Thursday. We moved that to the Warsaw Community Public Library so it could be indoors and we can keep people cool. Obviously, this Friday, we have our big concert, Rockin' for Riley, at the park. Sean and I have been working really hard to make sure everything's in place. We're working on getting some cooling fans, misting fans there, and some other things put into place so we can keep people safe. Next week, we have our first slip and slide. It was moved from Kelly Park over to Lucerne because of some construction over at Kelly Park. And this one's going to have the foam party. So it's from 4 to 6 p.m. And then next Friday night, we have the Mooncats coming, which they do 50s and 60s music. So lots of good things happening. The numbers are really good.
I
So-
can guess, but tell us what a foam party is.
The foam party is a foam cannon that will put a lot of foam out in the park.
I didn't know what a foam party was.
So, and then we will have 2 slides going down the hill there at Lucerne too. But actually Suzanne suggested that we try something like the foam party for teenagers and just people that don't necessarily want to go down the hill. So we're going to try it next week, the 26th. So if you don't have anything to do, come out and join us. Maybe bring some goggles and run through the foam. So
We're
lots
actually
of
going to
stuff,
set up
yeah.
a cool zone tent for the first time too. Years ago, we used to have the fire department come down. They had a cool trailer that they set up. Well, they don't have that anymore. So we're going to set up a tent and call it a cooling tent over by the restrooms at Central Park. There, had the tent. And we've got we just ordered misting fans that we're going to put together tomorrow, put in there, and then we've got the RAB
Water
water
truck.
truck coming there that will have fresh water if somebody needs water, so they can go in there and cool off if they need to. So with the temperatures, we just feel like
Yeah.
we need to give somebody an
Good
option
idea.
if they're feeling hot, so.
Yep.
Yep.
I do have to say that I appreciate seeing on Facebook, with the Parks Department, a week at a glance of all the activities.
Lene's doing a very good job
I'd
at
love to
getting
share
the
those.
word out on what we're doing.
That's, for
And-
people who need to plan ahead.
Yeah, and you actually came over to get your concert tickets, and you got to see everything being
Amazing. I was
done
like, wow.
over there.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Her team.
Yep. Yep.
Any more questions or comments? Okay, on to other matters.
As I forwarded, I think I forwarded all of you, I've got a couple emails from Judy, wanting to know if it was tabled last board meeting or if any discussion is going to be made tonight about that. I guess I would just ask the board, whether their feelings are to move forward with sound panels or to not move forward with sound panels or, reopen the tabled discussion and let me know how the board feels we should move forward.
Here we go.
Do we need a motion to, does that take from the table and open the discussion again?
Probably should.
Yes, I'd make that motion.
We have a motion to open up the pickleball conversation. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. It's up for discussion. Have you all seen the emails that, okay? There's nothing new in those. We've been hashing this over for over a year, I guess, now.
Yep.
But it's the same thing, every time that we discuss it.
How much usage is there over there, like, over the course of the day? Is it constantly being used?
There's a group in the morning that I see, is that like 3 times a week?
Yeah, Monday, Wednesday,
And
Friday,
Friday,
I
and then
believe.
there's a group in the evening that comes too. I don't know how often they're there, but during the daytime, there might be a couple out there playing or something, but I don't see, the main gameplay where all the courts are used are in the morning and after 5 o'clock. Yeah.
So there's already a length of time, it sounds like, where there is it isn't forbidden that it get used,
No.
but
Yeah.
it isn't being
Well,
used.
Yeah.
Pat and I, being retired and bored, for about 3 weeks, we went out there 2 or 3 times a day and logged how many players there were. And like I say, they have a league on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning, and once in a while, they'll play other times. And it was usually fairly busy at night, but a lot of times in the afternoon, there might be 2 people or 4 people or nobody playing. Her one email said it's 12 to 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that just simply is not the way it is.
Not what we're seeing.
Yeah. And I know Larry checks it too, and, they have cameras out there.
I think after reading the report last month,
Yeah.
in my mind, I was convinced the sound barrier was the way to go. But then after Judy made several comments to the fact that that was not going to satisfy her, and that was, the contractor was at her recommendation at our expense, which I didn't feel, why should we put good money for something that she felt already is, she's convinced it's not gonna work, so I think we all have some degree of sympathy for her, but I don't know what else that we can do unless we have some assurance if we might go ahead with the sound barrier, that she wouldn't come back the next month and not be happy with that and not feel that that's adequate, and we're back to square one. So
I did get an estimate after the last board meeting from the sound barrier from Orlando, and it was $13,881.57. So that's what we're looking at.
And that's just for the south.
That's for the
Yeah.
south side, yes.
And even then, she went a bit along one of the sides too, so, or a couple panels, I guess. So, yeah. My opinion, well, you all know what I think about it. I've been,
Steve, can I just ask a quick question?
yeah,
There are about 5 houses affected, is that correct, roughly?
yeah,
How many of the other neighbors have complained to date?
none,
Thank you. And they're closer to the pickleball court.
yes.
Correct. Yep.
Have we reached out to them to ask for comment?
Yes.
Yes.
I understand.
Yeah.
I think one of them works maybe for the Parks Department, I'm not sure.
In the summertime, she's a school
Yeah.
teacher, but she does work for us as part-time in the summertime. And the other one, the guy in the corner, he doesn't have a problem with him either. So
Oh, that's
we've
what they all
talked to him.
said?
Huh?
That's what their comment was, that they
Yeah.
didn't have one?
Yeah.
Closer to it than she is.
I mean, I still feel like we should not go forward with,
The only way I would support putting the
panels?
panels up is if she would agree in writing that that was it, that we would not hear anything again. Other than that, I cannot see
I still
spending the
think that's a
money.
big expense for,
Yeah,
We sort of stuck our necks out because we okayed having this man at her request. And so now the public realizes that we have spent all this money and she's still
Yeah.
not. And that's,
yep,
I think that sort of reflects poorly on us if we, continue to put forth money when,
yeah, the only money we spent was on the
The
study that the guy
Yeah,
did.
$1,000.
how much was that?
$1,000, yeah.
$1,000, yeah.
So, I mean, that's, way better than another 14.
But it's still $1,000,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. Yep.
not to say like, we, like, we don't care, so we do care enough to spend $1,000.
Yeah, we actually, let her pick the sound mitigation people, went with them, paid to have the study done. The study came back and, we were originally going to put the sound barriers up, and that's exactly what the study said would help with the decibels, but Judy doesn't think it works, so.
and
Yeah.
she does not want the courts closed in the middle of the day. She wants it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Well, even in the middle of the day, it would be expensive. Again, we'd have to lock it one way or another. Either have somebody go do it or the automatic locking system, which is expensive.
Which also takes away from
Yeah.
what the parks
Yeah.
is.
And tennis
Because
players.
they do
couldn't-
have like I see the signs that say open from,
Yeah,
Yeah, they're posted, signs posted.
well, I can't make the motion, but as far as I'm concerned, I think we're done. Unless she can bring something new to us.
what are we motioning for both to not give certain hours and to deny the
That we're just gonna leave
paneling?
everything like it is. We're not gonna change anything. That's what I would like to see, but that's just me.
Further discussion, she can come back again then.
Well, anybody can
Yep.
come back with stuff, but, once we vote to do this, it would take quite a bit, I think, to overrule it, and like I say, she would need to bring something new to us. Because we just keep going over the same things over and over and over, and nothing changes. So,
We're not going to end it.
Wait, yeah, well, so I'm trying to figure out what the motion would be, because I thought we already did table it.
well,
And so,
we
and
brought
we're bringing
her,
it
we
back
brought
up
her out of
again.
being tabled to
Yeah.
discuss.
Um,
We already did that, so,
motion to,
If we don't have a motion, I guess it would just die, actually.
Or we just make a motion to keep things as they are,
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Your turn.
that's, you were on.
You and I?
do we have a motion to not do anything?
I'll motion to
Okay.
keep things as is.
And a
I'll-
second?
And I'll second.
Okay, a motion and a second on the pickleball courts to leave everything as is. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
All right, thank you. The other thing I have is the recognition for Makes My Day Award. That was our month of May, was Makes My Day Award. It actually went to Richard Pearson, was the winner of our award, voted by the peers. Richard is always making us laugh and making every day better. His positive attitude and friendly demeanor make him a joy to be around. He's a great part of our team. I thank Richard for his unwavering positivity and for making our workplace a brighter and happier place. So congratulations to, we call him Dick P. That's what he likes to be, but I'll say Richard Pearson here, just for the official thing. So he was pretty ecstatic to get that and happy, as you can see in the picture. So
I don't know him, but he looks like he'd be fun to work with.
He is.
he's a longtime employee. So it's
Really
good.
have
So
some great people down there, really.
we do. We
I
do.
mean, they're friendly.
Yep.
You see them out, they're always waving, smiling, and seem like a great bunch of people. Hope
I
they
think
enjoy
it's-
their donuts.
That's right.
They do.
They do.
I think it's wonderful that you have such a variety of people who are plumbers and electricians, and, you know, that you have, all of these people are on your team.
What amazes me every time we have one of these awards, this time we had 12 different nominees for the award out of 19 of us, not counting myself, so 18 of us, you know, and it's just not a single person that's being
Yeah.
singled out for
That's
this. They're
great.
taking it seriously, and they're giving me reasons why they're nominating these people, and it's just,
That's
it's
awesome.
infectious. I mean, it's a great thing going.
That's gotta be a
Yeah.
big morale boost.
Yeah, absolutely.
for Everybody.
And it's not expensive.
No.
And it's not, and we continue with our Monday morning meetings. You know, we've had people that go through their leadership training. We have them talk now. We've had, you know, Stephanie does it one week, Suzanne, Sean, myself, Travis, Mark did it last Monday, and it's just neat to see the different perspective that they bring, you know, as an employee, not as a supervisor or a boss or anything like that. And we're all on the same level, and we just talk about things that our team needs, and it's good. It's good
That's
stuff.
awesome.
Yeah.
Is that when you do your donuts? On Monday morning?
Sometimes. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, they're not open on Monday, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, so
That's right, forgot.
it would be perfect then.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Okay, meeting review, budget done, pickleball done, hopefully. And other than that, I think we had a pretty good meeting, and I think these award things are really, really awesome. You're doing a good job. With that, we need a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, we need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I get to go drive a boat in the shop.
Good job, gang.
Go back to work, I left my phone on my desk.
Resolution.